welcome to the Mental Margarita Show, man.
I like the name.
How's life treating you?
It's going good. No complaints. No complaints.
That's fantastic. You know, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Daniel Hubbard, aka Dan the Man. I came up with that. I don't know how original that is. The man behind One Vision Entertainment. Wow, It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Let's get to it now. So, you know, you started your event production company in the Bay Area, 1999. What was the inspiration for that, Dan?
I just wanted to be in the music scene. You know, like most people in this scene, we all start out as wanting to be rappers. Not a good rapper. Yeah. Tried to make beats. Wasn't too good at producing, and I was just trying to find my niche. I used to do photographs for people for free, just show up to shows, get photographs and email them to the artists after the show. And wow, I just had a niche for organizing. So I just kind of like, I tried, you know, for merch to just, you know, all types of random stuff. How we've all done it, you know what I mean? And just I just gravitated towards the organization side. I used to be the guy in high school that would organize the house parties, and I'd be like, oh, okay, we're going to do it at this house. We're going to get a cake from this place. We're going to get these girls to come over, you know.
That's fantastic. Now, what artists kind of inspired you throughout your life too? Because you just mentioned that, you know, music has played a major role. I mean, considering the fact of what you do.
Yeah, well, in the Bay Area, growing up out there, is we had just such a strong, healthy local scene. Like, you know, it's back then, a couple of them were signed. You know, you had like, you know, Tupac, Digital Underground, even like Too Short got a deal and stuff. But most of these guys that are, you know, pretty legendary today, from like Mac Dre to Celly Cell to, absolutely, you know, a lot of these guys didn't have record deals. They're independent, and, you know, you could go to the Fairfield Mall and you'd meet these guys. You know, you'd see Andre Nicotina carrying a box of his CDs in and bringing them over to Chauncey's Funky Chicken and dropping them off to sell. Right. And, you know, it's just like, they just kind of inspired me. Like, you would actually see, it felt obtainable, because you'd see Be Legit on MTV and then see him at a local store or something, you know, and even though he's independent, it felt like it was something that I could obtain. And just, you know, I guess they all inspired me, just how the hustle and the hard work ethic, and how they just kind of, you know, if people didn't want to give them a chance, they just made their own lane, you know what I mean?
What I love about you is I know that you're a music lover, but you're also a businessman. You know, what are some of the initial hardships being an entrepreneur, embarking on this journey that you had to go through as you're starting to, you know, start this event production company?
Well, one hardship that you'll learn is being a music lover and stuff. Like, it's a double-edged sword. Like, you know, starting an independent business is really, really hard. Hopping into entertainment or fashion or something, or, you know, some of the most flooded industries out there. So it's just that much harder, you know, if you want to become a musician versus if you want to, you know, own a lawn company, you know, there's probably a lot less competition and more need for the lawn company, you know, locally and stuff like that. Right. So it takes that drive and love to keep you going. But then you also have to separate yourself from it, which is really hard, because if you just follow your heart, a lot of times you'll be broke forever, you know? So if you want to take it to that level where it's not a hobby, you have to kind of disassociate what you love and see what your customers love, you know? Right. And it might not be, you know, and you can influence it a little bit and you can throw your stuff, but at the end of the day, you gotta give the customers what they want. And if you're not, if your likes aren't exactly like certain people, like, you know, maybe a Kanye West, who's this visionary, what he creates, people just love. And he just has this sight that, you know, if you're that type of person, maybe you can do exactly what you want and people are going to follow you. But a lot of business owners, you got to kind of customize the trends, and you got to kind of follow what the people want and give them what they want. And
now, being a talent buyer,
mm-hmm.
how important was it for you to establish relationships with these artists? Because I'm sure that you formed a lot of relationships over the years, but how important is it?
It's like, it's very, very, very important for the long-term situation. Like, there's a lot of flyby promoters that, you know, burn bridges and hop around to different markets, and, you know, they screw over some people in this market, we'll go to a different one. But really, if you want to,
absolutely,
you know, I'm 20 plus years in this game, and I just want it to get easier and easier every year. You know, my first years I was working 100 hours a week, and then, you know, slowly I wanted, you know, now I have a daughter and I'm trying to stick it under 40 hours a week, you know, and if it wasn't for the building blocks, I'd be broke right now.
Now, I personally got the opportunity to perform at one of your concerts at the Knitting Factory.
Oh, nice.
I want to thank you for that opportunity.
You're welcome.
Now, give the audience a glimpse of the responsibilities that you have to deal with, you know, the day of concert, waking up, leading the showtime and beyond. What is it like a day?
It's like, it's something that I don't think I'll ever get completely used to. Like, I see some other promoters keep their cool a lot better than me, but day show, I'm stressed out. But it's like, you know, you're working, you know, normally like 2, 3, 4 months on this one event. You know, you have multiple events coming, but you're putting tons of hours, and you're like choreographing, you know, hundreds to sometimes 200, you know, different people, from like the sound guy to the staff to the venue to the DJ to your door staff to your production manager to all the local acts to the local acts, you know, to the headliner to his road manager to the agents. And you're like doing this dance where you're trying to bring everybody together at one little like 3-hour period to go perfect, you know, and it's just one little piece of it can, you know, throw the whole thing apart. So, you know, the DJ gets.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. Now, Dan, what is your mental margarita? I mean, after all the concert production, the promotions, the madness, what is your escape?
Definitely my family, my daughter, my wife, you know, they're my 2 best friends, and, you know, they just, they help, you know, before I met my wife, I was just Dan Hubbard, the concert guy. Like, there was just one mode. I woke up in the morning, first thing I thought about was concerts, last thing I thought about was concerts. And she slowly helped me separate into 2. And now, you know, in my 40s, I turned 40 recently, or 42 recently, and I don't feel like I'm Dan Hubbard, the concert guy. I love the respect I get and stuff like that, but I'm Maya's dad, I'm Bree's husband, you know, and that's who I am.
That's great.
So it really took, really what keeps me going.
Well, you know what? You're more than just that. You are more than just that. You're an amazing person. We want to thank you so much for all the contributions that you brought. I mean, really, to West Coast and the culture, and I mean, just the opportunities that you have made for so many of us. And I want you to know that you're appreciated, and I thank you for being on the show as well, my brother.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun, man.
Absolutely. I look forward to seeing you real soon, Dan.
All right, man. Have a good one. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care. Welcome to the Mental Margarita Show. I got my cousin in the building.
Hi, everyone.
I want you to introduce yourself and your business.
Okay. Well, my name is Karen Fitzgerald, and my business is insurance. I am a state-to-state insurance broker, and I've been doing this for over a decade, and I enjoy it. I love it.
Wow. And you know what? It's so interesting because I know that we have spoken and talked about the importance of what you do and how important it is for us to be able to educate ourselves. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, one, a lot of people don't realize how important life insurance is until it's too late. And once it's too late, it's just absolutely nothing that nobody can do. It's always good to get insurance when you're young because it's cheaper. Um, Insurance is based on your age, it's based on your health. You don't want to wait until you get completely sick and down and out and can't do anything for yourself. Then you put yourself in a waiting period. And if something happens while you're in that waiting period, then they're only going to give you what you paid in versus the full face amount that you're looking for.
Right. Wow. And that's true. And a lot of, I mean, like, you know, we hear it, we're living our lives, and you hear those two words, life insurance, life insurance. They're like real, you know, it whispers in your ear, life insurance. And we always say, okay, well, I'm gonna get around to it. I'm gonna get around to it. Why do you think people are so hesitant to get life insurance?
Because it's not important to them until it's important. A
Oh,
lot of people don't think of insurance until it's too late. I wish I had insurance. I wish I could. It's a lot of wishes, but once it's too late, your wishes is just like air in a bucket. It means nothing.
how did you get started in this field of yours? I mean, what made you say, hey, this is something that I want to do?
Um, it's kind of comical, but my job that I was working in manufacturing had faded out and I had nothing else to do. And my mom had a traditional insurance lady that picked her money up every month and she was aggravating. And she was like, do you want to do this? I was like, I want to go to people's house and aggravate them. But then when we got to talking about the money, give me 1 second, the vehicle was going by. When we got to talking about the scales of the money, my eyebrows raised. And I was like, well, I'll just do it until I figure out something else to do. It's been over a decade and I haven't figured out nothing else that I want to do. Because the money is really grand.
And because you have traveled. I mean, you experienced a wonderful life. I love your mentality. And one thing that you talk about a lot is financial literacy. How
Right.
important is financial literacy for our community?
It's very important because one thing that our community is stuck on is I'm only going to get $10,000. $10,000 is nothing, especially if you have children or a spouse that you want to leave behind. The cost of a funeral now is a little north of $11,000. So now you got $10,000 you put in your family. They started out in a hole of $1,000. Then most people want to have, down in the South, we have headstones. You want a headstone, so that puts you another $3,000 in the hole. So there, right there, you're $4,000 in the hole from a $10,000 policy. A $10,000 policy is the mentality of slavery because that's all that they will allow us to have back in the days. And it was just enough for burial. But there's so many different types of insurance out there that will work for generational wealth is what we're that's our goal. Generational wealth is where you can gain a lot of money, not per se just because somebody passes away, but there's two things that we're guaranteed. We're born to live and we're gonna die. So nothing else is guaranteed. So why not set up a system that's going to take care of your children's children when something happens? So $10,000 is nothing. You can't do anything with $10,000.
That is so true. You are great, and I love you to death, cuz.
I love you too, cuz. And I try my best because one thing I can say about insurance, back in the days, um, you know, the older people didn't finish school because they had to work. And they wasn't allowed to do a lot of things. And so they had to just settle for whatever was offered to them. And so when I talk to my seniors, I don't talk to them with no large lingo. I talk to them just like you and I are talking, where they can understand what I'm saying, what position they're in, and what better position they could be put in. Because a lot of seniors, they have term, and term mostly runs out between the age of 70 and 80. If they outlive that term, now the cost of insurance is higher because insurance is based on your age and it's based on your health. If you have cancer, um, congested heart failure, something like that, you can't get day one coverage. That's why it's always good for the ones that's out there that's very protective of your parents. Make sure you understand what they have. And if you don't understand what they have, call somebody that can explain it to you. Don't let it be too late. I'd rather be there 5 years too early than 5 minutes too late.
That's real. That is so real. You know what? That's real. So for everybody that's listening, guys, this is something that we need to be attentive of, and we need to take action. And I thank you for taking that.
State. Even if you don't want to sit down face to face, or you can't sit down face to face, I do interviews through Zoom, emails, telephone.
Please, can you give the contact info? How do they get it?
My email address is Karen Fitzgerald 08 at gmail.com. That's KAREN FITZGRALD 08 at gmail.com. Not hard to get to get in contact with. Just if I don't answer, just leave a message, and as soon as I finish with what I'm doing, I'll contact you within 24 hours.
There you go. There you have it, Karen Cuzzo. You did it. You did it. You made me proud. And listen, everybody that's listening, make sure that you take this very serious. We have a lot of loved ones that we've lost, and life is serious. So let's be very focused on the subject, and I feel really good about it. And wow, thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate you.
You are welcome so much. Anytime I can help you, make sure you let me know, and I'll have no problem with coming speaking with your audience. Thank you so much for having me, Cuzzo.
All right. On behalf of the Mental Margarita Show, you have a good one.
You too, baby.
All right. Welcome to the Mental Margarita Show. We got DJ Hot Rod in the building.
Hey, man, what's happening, man? So glad to tap in with you guys, man. Amazing show. I've been doing some research, man. You guys been killing it, man.
Man, I appreciate it. Born in Queens, New York, man. What's going on?
That's right. New York, Queens, Southside Jamaica in the building. You know how 50 made it famous, but I'm saying it's the same thing in the street. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about. So let's take the first step. What got you into DJing, and who truly inspired you, my brother?
I'll be honest with you. My dad, as a kid, I was coming up and I seen these Surin Vegas speakers, and I seen these crates of records. Once I was strong enough to carry them, I was carrying them to all the parties, and he's been doing that thing since the early 80s. And he brought me a pair of turntables or extra pair. He said, "Hey, man, you can mess around with these old records and see what you could do." Showed me a few things. And before I knew it, I was already at the parties, helping out. I was waiting for my chance to step in, and when I could, I did. And I definitely want to say one of the people that I really admire was Funk Flex. I believe his story with Red Alert was the same way mine was with my dad, as he was carrying crates for the legendary Red Alert, and that's how he got his break. So I was definitely following his footsteps, and I'm just happy to now finally him to be able to acknowledge me and doing events with me. It really lets me know that I kind of made it where I want to be. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that feels good, man. I'm so happy for you. Now, why do you feel the DJ is so important? And do you think that the importance is just as important as back in the earlier days?
I'll be honest with you. DJs are very extremely important. And once again, we were just speaking of the importance of the DJs. And like I said, for every event, you know, just like shoes or anything you shop for, it's different sizes and colors and things. So depending upon what someone's strength is when you're choosing a DJ or what type of mood you want to be in, I think that that's just that means a lot. You know what I'm saying? So and then like you said, even more is like, all right. So you got the DJ, they play a specific style, how they come across. But now at today's time, things change just a little bit. And to be honest with you, I think they got away from the craft of dancing, the dance floor. You know, a lot of things like, you know, the only time you have a good time is at like, you know, a wedding or something where you can really let loose, you know, hit the floor. That's been missing. And I think that was a big part of what DJing was back then. If you could keep the dance floor packed, you was a good DJ. You know what I mean? And so I want to bring that back, you know, and a good feel. Like I said, new music is one of the things I feel like DJs do to keep the generations going. You know, if DJs ain't playing it, you're really not hot. You know, what you want to listen to you in your car. If you go to that DJ and you say, hey, you got so-and-so, you might be rocking for you. But if it ain't something that's mostly requested, he's not right. And that's where you bridge the gap. That's bridging the gap with the DJ. See, you have to have DJs to play the music you like. And that's the connection, I believe.
Now, DJ Hot Rod.
Yes.
What's the meaning behind the name, brother?
I got to keep it. This story is amazing. I started off real small because remember, I said my dad gave me the equipment. I had the records and buying records back in the days, which some of these DJs would never be able to be a DJ because you have to have the funding to put into your craft. That's what's going to make you understand the value of it. So now when kids come with a new laptop and they're like, oh, I'm a DJ overnight, they can take people like my job because I'm charging more and for my value and what I'm bringing and for where I came from. And these guys are like, I got all the hottest records. Just put me on. I'm gonna press play. That's amazing. However, if you never purchased the records and you never, you know, went through the you know, digging through crates and all of that stuff, I feel like you're missing everything. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to like elaborate on that, you know, and basically just to say like, all right, so you know, you bring in a new agent and then they're forgetting some of the things. So like I just I want to circle back on that, yeah, because that's another thing that I feel like is missing. Like I don't think they understand, you know, that part. You know, I want to teach the youth that, you know what I mean?
You know what? I love that. I love the fact that you want to teach. You want to teach and you want to tear up the dance floors. What are some of the venues you play in and what's in the works coming up?
All right, so some of those spots that I played that was like the best, like Stereo Garden, Long Island. I've done Taj in the city. I've done 4040 Club. I've done, I've done the yachts, every single boat up and down the marinas of New York City, and I played out of country as well. And I always target the number one venues when I go into town. I just give them a little a reminder that, hey, DJ Hot Rod from New York's coming through. They always make a spot for me if it's not one already there, because folks love to save a little bit. If they know somebody special in town, they're like, hey, man, we ain't got to fly this guy out, man. You know what? Let's have a special guest tonight and make it right for him. People like to show folks from New York a great time all over the world. And I'm thinking about, definitely touring more interstate as well, as far as going up and down the coast and side to side with it, because in Kentucky's and those small places, they need an experience. Like I feel like what I can bring. Hey man, hey, I'm just following with my heart and my dreams. That's what keeps me motivated. I'm sure that the fame and the funds and everything else we like is gonna come with it. However, on a journey, I just want to stay focused and not let anything distract me from what I love to do,
And not only that, there's only one DJ Hot Rod that's on the Mental Margarita Show.
There you go. And big up to you guys once again, man. Heck of a show. Man, I'm just so excited, delighted, looking forward to working with you guys more.
Yeah, we definitely got to collaborate, my brother. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you in Vegas really soon. But before we go, what is your mental margarita? What is your escape?
Oh man, to be honest with you, I really want to say going to travel the world, and anywhere I go and just bringing my laptop and my yeah, this is it. This is it. I got my drink, whatever signature drink there is in that country or place or whatever it is. I wanna stick my feet in the sand or on the most beautiful places that you got there, and I want to just perform my craft for myself and my viewers and whoever else is following me from around the world. Because if they can't go, I would love to take them and they can enjoy that time with their DJ, and I'm there to do that for them. And I would love for them to be there. Maybe one day they all come and we'll do this thing together. But that's one of my mental margaritas.
Hey, that's the move, man. I love you, brother. Keep doing your thing, man. I look forward for us to connect, and let's shake the world, my brother.
I'm coming to Vegas, man. I'm coming out there. You know I'm coming.
He's coming to Vegas.
Yes, thanks so much again, brother. Appreciate you guys.
Take care, my brother.
All right.
You're starstruck, here's a sprinkle of the stardust. Hold your champagne glass and your cigars up. See the guys with mob ties drive the cars up. Bright lights, most nights they buy the bars up. Candy coated Chevy cars on the highway. It's Frankie baby, it's on and this is my way. Dean Martin at the Sands this Friday. With Sammy Davis, here's a little hint where I stay. The city shines like Liberace's mansion. And you know Elvis had the whole city dancing. Showgirl silhouette steady prancing. Shout out to June, just the Copa Girls anthem. Legal gambling, yeah, that would tempt me. It's Sin City, holy water couldn't cleanse me. And Wayne Newton had the crowd in a frenzy. Live at the Stardust, the seats never empty. Now if you having a good time in Las Vegas, at the count of 3, I want to hear you scream, Viva Las Vegas. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Viva Las Vegas! And Main Street was the official local beer stop. Enough slot machine noise to make your ears pop. The cigarette girls walking souvenir shops, while Red Fox had them laughing till the tears drop. Before Steve got a win at the right time, Sig and Roy had a long circus lifeline. Now the strip's got a lot of neon light signs. Would you agree there's not another city like mine?